What's up, everybody? We have another G3 siege for you here today. We pulled Serotonina and Endorfina going through their towers kind of quickly because I'm trying to get some attacks in. We saw some Odins, we saw some Kinkis, we see some LDs, we see some old Woosa Sav in the 9, and some Iunu Molly Vigor in the 8. We're going to go straight into this first attack. We're taking a Galleon Tiana Chung Pung Cleave into this Woosa Sav. I'm beginning to like this Chung Pong variant over the Poseidon a lot into these comps, where if you miss multiple pushbacks with the Poseidon, you might lose. You have multiple hits, and so there's less likelihood that you're going to miss all of the pushbacks on the Chung Pong. And Tiana just does ridiculous damage now, so she's kind of half the damage dealer anyways. So able to get this first one in nice and quick. Next, we're going to go into the 4-star tower on the red side. We're going to take a Commune Lucia Vigor into this Harmonia Vigor Kinki. We've been seeing a lot of these. This is another comp that I like to run over the Cha-Cha wind damage dealers. This Harmonia was off will, so we're able to get a sleep immediately on it. We get our defense break. We get a nice crit onto water with the Commune, and this attack is starting off pretty nice even with that Kinki proc. We throw up our heal even though we're not super low, just because we want the speed buff to be rolling and giving us more turns. We're just going to keep putting damage into this Vigor and hope we get a kill here. We missed the crit the second time, but the Harmonia didn't proc either for 2 turns, so she just sat there while that Vigor died. Very nice. Should lead into a clean win here. The skill 3 there was a little bit of a misplay. I could have just held on to that. Again, we're not low, but we're just blowing the Vigor heal in order to keep the speed buff up. We want to be getting as many turns in, getting some destroy on this Harmonia, and hopefully being able to get a snipe on her without the unwanted Harmony going into a dangerous situation with the Kinki. So we get the 3-turn defense break, but the Harmonia gets a proc into the cleanse, so it puts a damper on that burst opportunity, but we'll sustain up a little bit more here, wait a couple more turns for this immunity to wear off, and we just had that cleanse from the Harmonia, so we're safe to go ahead and sleep that Kinki. All this Harmonia is now, she let the Vigor die, but now we're going to get all the procs off. But again, just going to keep on putting damage into this Harmonia, get our defense break, a lot of damage there, and a crit here will finish off that Harmonia as well here. And again, high accuracy on your Lucias makes this fight so much easier. You can see how much CC we're able to land and how many times we're able to just freeze this Kinki so that he is not putting heavy destroy into your whole team. Get the heal block too. We don't even proc the Kinki passive there with the defense break, and the Lucia finishes off for the second win of the day. We're going to go into this Tesa, Odin, and Riley. I'm going to take a Veil Lucian in here. You just want to be sure you have a pretty fat Lucian and some good damage dealt on wind. As long as you kill the Riley here, this is pretty safe. But again, if you end up missing that kill, if they're a super tank trap, this can be not the safest thing in the world. But we get that kill. We're able to skill 3 on the Balgor, finish off the second life of the Odin. We revive the Lucian here so that the Tesa hits that instead of killing the Odin. And then we're able to boost the Balgor. We're able to boost the Balgor again into another skill 3 and finish off that Tesa. Next, we're going to hit the 4-star tower on the yellow side. This time we have the Iunu, Vigor, and Molly. We're going to take in Hraesvelg, Triana, Rena. This comp is really safe with almost any wind damage dealer. The main thing is just to make sure that your Rena has some good minus wind. I put the Triana on full damage here because she's not going to get hit ever except for the Molly. And we want to try and save the cleanse on the Triana as much as possible for the Oblivion. I think that I probably could have saved that heal there. I don't think it ends up biting me, but the only way that you lose this is if you get a gap in immunity and the Vigor defense break into the Iunu damage, plus the Oblivion into the Rena is able to break her shield. But so we get our attack buff up, we get a couple of procs here, we almost kill that Vigor. And again, the only thing about this is this Vigor defense break is going to enable potential procs in the Iunu. So the faster you can kill that Vigor, the faster this becomes a very safe offense. And that's why I prefer the Hraesvelg in this particular team. It just makes such short work of that Vigor. We're running plus damage dealt on water on both of our win units here also to expedite that. Next, we're going to go after the Molly. Again, there is some small case that Iunu with a lot of procs, if we try to kill him next, that he comes back to life, he kills something, and then we're not able to finish him off before Molly procs or his procs bring him back into a stable state, and then has to pass it back up again. And then you're dealing with the Iunu with the extra damage. So to be safe, we're just going to go ahead and keep hitting this Molly and hope that the Iunu doesn't just die to the AoE damage from the Hraesvelg. Couple more hits here. Big skill 2 from the Hraesvelg doesn't quite kill, but we were able to cycle around and finish that off. Ideally here, you kill with the Rena. It's really hard to have happen. Or the Hraesvelg, because the Triana will be able to save someone, but that revive doesn't actually do much damage, and we proc on the Triana, so we're able to finish off that Iunu and finish off this sword. We're going to hit the LD tower on the L side next. We have this Molong, Laima, and Molly. We're taking in a variation of the double wind Cha-Cha comp here. I just got Momo from my 8-year scroll, and so although I think there may be some better 4-star options for this team, we wanted to play with her. She has the built-in damage reduction and scaling damage on her passive, as well as a consistent attack break and the defense break from the skill 2. Unfortunately, she's not fully skilled here, so we're missing some of the defense breaks, and the cooldown is a little bit longer, but should be good to do the job. The Cha-Cha shield helps mitigate a lot of this damage from the Molong. We're also running some minus water on the Cha-Cha as well. I think one thing I potentially underestimated here is just the potential with cycling on the skill 1 of the Laima and plus violent procs. You can see a little bit later in this fight, she just churns through these immunities, invulnerabilities, and the recovery effects. So this ended up taking a lot longer than I thought it should. You can see there, we're having multiple heals up on people, and that recovery buff just brings the Molong back to full. And I think that Laima was also on Destroy, and with the defense break, we're not actually dying to the Molong, we're really dying to the Laima here. But yeah, it didn't get any defense break the Molong there. We also have this slow buff from the Laima when it strips, which is pretty crippling, helps them cycle even more. But we're just going to keep putting damage into this Molong. The more that we can destroy him, the less that his skill 3 is going to do, and the less kill threat that he brings into the team. His Reckless Assault brings him really low there, but we have another proc into another immunity from the Laima and a proc on the Molly, bringing him back up to a lot more HP. I think we changed target a little bit here just to test things out. I think at the end, yeah, that skill 1 there was like half the Molly's health, and I was like, huh, maybe this there's some heavy minus wind on this this Molong, and that's why I'm not quite doing damage the way that I would like to. I think there wasn't a lot of sense in changing targets here. I think the only thing that really would have warranted it was to follow the defense breaks from the AoE skill 2 on the Momo. But again, we're not in much threat here. We're getting some destroy on the Cha-Cha, but the revenges and the shields from it are able to keep it up. We still have this Triana passive if anything goes too haywire, and we almost kill that Molong. If we'd gotten that defense break there, that would have been the Molong dead right there. But we're going to take just a little bit longer here. We get our skill 3, hopefully able to strip all these buffs off the Molong. We get that. And 7k hits and a proc from the Momo, able to take out that Molong. And so here we'll speed it up. We just have the 2 healers, able to eventually put enough damage from this Momo. And again, the Momo damage scaled up quite a bit over the course of the fight. Our Destroy is starting to kick in, and we'll be able to close this one off in just a couple of more turns. And eventually the Limo will go down and we'll be able to take this next win from this LD tower using our new unit. Very fun. we're going to go into next this Iunu Molly Vigor. This time we are going to take a Logan over the Hraesvelg because I haven't built a second Hraesvelg yet. I feel like Logan can do some insane combos, but for just pure kill speed, I find the Hraesvelg does a little bit faster here, but we should be good here in the same kind of pattern that we did in the first one. We get a nice proc there with the defense break into the kill and are able to pretty quickly take out that Vigor. It might have actually been faster than the Hraes, just due to getting that clutch attack buff defense break damage in. But we're going to basically go through the same thing here. We're going to keep hitting this Molly. I think I have pretty low accuracy on my Logan here in favor of more damage. It's probably nice to the Molly teams to take a little bit more accuracy. But again, I'm building purely to kill the Vigor as quickly as possible, since I think that is kind of your loss condition, is losing while that additional damage dealer is alive. It's going to take a lot of procs from this Iunu without a defense break to kill through this arena. And the Molly would have to get a lot of procs to kill either of these one units. But there we go. We're able to take out the Molly. We're left with just this Iunu, and it'll just be a matter of how many turns he can get before we're able to take him out. Take him out with the Logan here. We hope that we don't get killed with the first attack. We actually get a proc, and then the Triana is able to take him out. We're waiting for this tower 10 to open to try and race it down, and we're going into another Molong Woosa Savannah with our Galleon Poseidon Cleave. We get our strip and boost into the attack buff and defense break, hitting all but the Molong, which should be okay. We're just hoping to get our pushbacks here now. And we get all the pushbacks, and we get the crit on the Savannah, so the Tiana damage here should be enough to clean up almost everything. We'll finish up the... Oh, we're actually going to defense break the Molong. Oh, so we can get the AoE skill too and finish off the Woosa. And then this should be pretty safe. I think, though, I missed that first defense break, and I was a little slow on some of the clicks, and Red actually raced us on this tower, and my attack did not count. So unfortunately, that counts as a miss. It doesn't count as a loss, but it counts as a miss. We're going to go right back into the same defense on another tower, though. This time taking a little bit of a fun comp. I think this is like a mostly works comp. We're taking Harmonia, Ethna, and Leo. The main damage from the Ethna is heavily cut. We have Nemesis on the Harmonia and heavy minus water. I'm not really that scared of that unit dying, but we're able to skill through on the Ethna here, take the immunity from the Molong and finish him off. The lose condition here would be if we, the defense break at the beginning, before the Harmonia was able to cleanse. I think Harmonia might have gotten stunned the first turn. If the Savannah gets some procs there, I do have pretty heavy minus wind damage on both the Leo and the Ethna, but it is possible, because I have a little bit more of like a bruiser damage build on this Ethna, for that to die to the Savannah. So again, we're doing something here that's you know, it works most of the time, but mostly we're just looking to play with our fun Ethna skin. And we do have heavy minus wind. You can see there that Leo took almost no damage from that Savannah, and we're able to finish off this, I think, third time we're hitting this Woosa Sav. Yeah. So now we're going to try and make up some lost ground. That attack that I did with the Poseidon Cleave did not count as a win. So the only way that we can get 10 wins here today is via some solos or duos. So we're taking in a Miho solo into this Odin, Draco, and Theo. The one thing to watch out for here is just making sure that you're properly taking advantage of the life drain off the two units that should have near max crit, and trying as best as you can to not die to the Draco. The Draco is going to be the thing that kills you. You also might have noticed on that first turn, the Odin did not crit me, so I'm guessing that the Odin is ruined sub 100 crit rate, which is fine. If it's at 85, then all of the 5-stack attacks, ignore defense attacks, will still be 100% crit potentially, but we're just prioritizing the skill 1 on the Miho whenever the Draco is about to move in order to maximize the life drain. We killed the Odin there just because we were a little afraid of him being not 100 crit rate from seeing that, and he had also just used his stacks, so we didn't have to go through his passive. We're able to kill the Draco next, and then get a revenge on this Theo to get a solo. And of course, what does it matter if we get a solo if we're not able to get another attack in? So we're going into this Carc, Praha, Taranys with an Feng and an Amelia. So the idea here is if we can keep up our immunity, then the Carcano is not going to defense break and kill the Feng. The Feng is still able to do a ton of damage, as you can see, to this Carcano. And if we can get down this Carcano, the 2v2 and finishing off the Carcano whenever the Taranys revives him is going to be super easy. And you can see here my Amelia cosplaying as a Tyrone, where we put a very fast Violent Revenge set on her, and we get the skill 1 into the Praha, into the Revenge, into the next turn, freezing all 3 enemy units, which was just beautiful there. But again, we're going to kill this Carcano again and again just because that is the main kill threat. I also noticed that I don't think there's any Destroy on this team, so I'm not too worried about this going longer from the Carcano, or the Taranys and the Praha. But we're going to put some Destroy and Freezes into this Praha next, just because we think that we can keep that lockdown a little bit between the Freezes, and we're going to go for maybe a Provoke here, which we get. I think this might have not been the smartest thing because we get taunted here, but we're able to get that Freeze again on the Praha, go back into human form and get immunity back up. So although our Fang is going to be countering into the Taranys here, we get a proc, we're able to finish off the Carcano again. And from here, we'll be able to, I think, go through these units before too much more gets revived. So we're going to finish off, I think, this Praha with the Unicorn hit, and then take the slow hits into this Taranys. So we put up a little bit of heals because our Amelia is getting a little lower. Get another Revenge proc, doing some work here. And then I think there goes the first life of the Taranys. He gets one more revive off. We kill the Carcano with just pure Amelia procs, and we're able to get our 2 versus 3 to make up the lost ground for the 1 attack that we lost. Now we're going to go into our last attack to get our 10 in a row message on the battlefield, but potentially an 11-win siege. We're taking in another Fang, Minato, and Riley. I think that this comp is also just a little bit fun. It's not something that I would highly recommend as like a 100% win rate comp, but the idea here is that we have our defense leader skill from Fang, and we have 3 insanely tanky units. All 3 of these units are built, almost full tank, and so we shouldn't be dying to the Theo. We have tons of heals from the Riley. We have the recovery from the Fang, and the Minato is actually also on Vampire as well to give himself a little bit more sustain on some of those revenge procs as well. We get the first life of the Theo down for the Endure buff. We're taunted on the Minato, and the Molly gets to go for a shield here. I'm debating a little bit here if I try to push through for the kill versus just putting up more heals, and I think I go for it here. We get glancings and don't quite get it. We put up another round of immunity from the Riley to try and keep this Fang alive. And at this point, I think I've missed the boat. We're going to have to go through another Theo passive, but that's okay. We're not really that worried about this. And the triple revenge hits almost one-shot the Sagar, and I didn't even target him, but just pure accidental death, which I found to be pretty hilarious. And from here on out, we've taken out one of the units. We're able to take this Theo down to the Endure again. This time he is not saved by the Molly shield, and then 3v1 here with 2 units on Destroy. We will be able to clean up our 11 and 0 siege and get our coveted battlefield message even with that lost attack. And a big 23k crit from the full tank Minato to finish it off, and there's the battlefield message. Very excited to get that for the siege especially. And that is it for this one. Again, was an incredibly fun siege, very tight race on that one tower 10 in the middle. And glad I got to play with a lot of new and fun units that I have pulled and do a couple of different offenses that I haven't done in a while. Again, thanks for watching. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.